Welcome to the Explainer. When you think about Christianity as apocalyptic prophecies, the second coming, the final judgment, these are some of the most dramatic stories ever told, right? Well, today we're exploring a pretty radical reinterpretation, one that sees these not as future events, but as a roadmap for a profound journey that happens right within the human heart. You see, for centuries, these prophecies have been read as a literal forecast of future, world-ending events. But what if that's a huge misreading? What if the entire epic drama was always meant to be interpreted as something deeply, deeply personal? So, this slide really lays it all out. It's two totally different ways of looking at it. On one hand, you've got the traditional interpretation, a future, external event that we're all just supposed to wait for. And on the other hand, you have this mystical take, that it's a symbolic roadmap for an inner journey that's happening, well, right now. This completely reframes the whole thing, doesn't it? It moves you from passively waiting for the world to end to actively getting involved in transforming your own inner world. Okay, so this reframing is absolutely central to esoteric Christianity. It basically takes eschatology, the whole study of end times, and says, hey, this isn't a script about global destruction. Instead, it's this powerful metaphor for our own psychological and spiritual development. It's really a story of profound personal creation. And this is really the core idea, pulled straight from our source material. The key phrase here is within the individual. All the drama, all the prophecy, it all points inward. It's basically a map of the soul's journey toward wholeness. So, this journey, it actually unfolds in two distinct phases. Let's start with phase 1, what theologians call the already. And this isn't about the end, not at all. It's actually about the very beginning, that first moment of a real, genuine spiritual awakening. This awakening really hinges on redefining a key term. Christ in this context isn't just the historical figure, it's the Christ principle, a universal potential for divine consciousness that, believe it or not, lies dormant in every single person. So the coming of Christ in this view becomes the personal birth of this awareness right inside of you. Now, this awakening isn't like flipping a switch. It's a whole process. Think about the parables of the sower. A divine seed is planted within us, but it needs tending. We have to work through our own inner weeds and rocky ground, our resistance, our fears and distractions, to allow that seed to actually grow and finally recognize the kingdom within. So the crucial point of this first phase is this. The kingdom of God isn't a place you go to after you die or some government that will one day rule the earth. It's a state of consciousness, a spiritual reality that is fully present and accessible to us in this very moment, if we do the inner work to perceive it. All right, now let's see how this builds into phase 2, the not yet. If the first phase is the spark of awakening, this is the full realization. It's the culmination of the inner journey, described through Christianity's most dramatic, apocalyptic symbols. And this is where it gets so cool. We get to decode these epic symbols as personal experiences. The coming in the clouds isn't a sky-bound event. It's the moment the clouds of our own ego and ignorance are parted, revealing a deeper truth. The final judgment isn't about some external judge, but an internal purification. And the new heaven and new earth? Well, that's the world seen through a completely new state of consciousness. This just completely flips the concept of judgment on its head, right? It's not about separating good people from bad, but an intensely personal process of self-judgment where we consciously separate ourselves from our own weeds and goats, the unintegrated, fearful, and egoic parts of our own psyche. It's a moment of radical self-honesty and inner cleansing. So you have these two phases, the already and the not yet. But they're not contradictory at all. They actually form a single, unified story of the soul's journey. It begins with that initial awakening to the truth within you and culminates in the complete and total realization of that truth. So why does all this matter? Why reread these ancient texts this way? Well, because it transforms them from a passive script we're meant to just watch unfold into an active, living guide for our own lives. Ultimately, this view transforms eschatology from ancient prophecy into a practical roadmap for your life. It becomes a framework for meditation and self-reflection. It shifts you from being a passive spectator waiting for an end into an active participant on a personal quest. Every day becomes a step toward that final, metaphorical second coming, the one that takes place not in the sky, but in the sanctuary of your own heart.
So we'll leave you with this thought to chew on. Perhaps the greatest event we've been taught to look for outwardly is actually the most profound presence we can ever hope to find and awaken inwardly.